you were together and you didn't catch it. Well,
They just started taking yesterday, Providence Health and Services on the West Coast just started to do a study.
the study on you.
Both, well,
Who
they're
needs him? We don't need him, we need you.
They do.
What's
They're
the
hoping to
answer?
create a vaccination.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Do you think maybe you had it before and there's an immunity without
I
knowing it?
don't think so, but we'll find out.
Yeah, so you didn't see it at all. Wow, that's fantastic.
I don't think she had it.
Strong. You know they call that a strong woman, right?
Oh, believe me, I know that.
No, it's amazing to be together like that and to
Yeah.
not catch
Not
it.
only that, we had two friends, so we were going back and forth in each of our cabins. They got exposed, they got the virus. We were
How
stuck
did
on.
they do? How did they do?
They did great. They came out great. We were stuck on a bus for 6.5 hours with people with the virus. On the plane, people had the virus. She sat next to a husband of a couple who got married on the Diamond Princess. They were in their 40s. And the wife was next to me in the special quarantined area on the plane. The husband was next to her, coughing away when we
How did
ended
you
up.
feel? Did you feel comfortable?
I put a
what
blanket
did
over
you
my
do?
head.
Did you cover your head or something?
I put a blanket over my head because we were so cold. And the smell from the toilets, the two portable toilets on the
Wow.
plane was so bad.
And that was on a plane?
That was on the cargo plane that you guys
The
had
cargo,
sent
and then
us.
you had the bus.
Well, the bus was first, so that was
Right.
a very long process getting off
So
the
that
bus.
was no pleasure either.
No.
And these people had it.
Yes.
A lot of these people.
Right.
It's amazing that
And
you
if they
survived.
did, like our friend from St. George, he did not have it on the boat, but tested 4 days later at Fort Travis. So he either got it on the plane or on the bus.
Do you think it brought you two, do you think it brought you together, Blessing? Or
Yeah.
you could
Absolutely.
see, I could see it, you know?
Absolutely.
It brings you together. Does that make any
Absolutely.
sense?
We were
Especially
separated for
in
5
Omaha.
weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks, because I was in the biocontainment area in Omaha, and then to a lower level of.
And you were
containment.
very sick at one point, right?
Just the first day on the plane,
Hmm.
I had the 103 fever. By the time I got to Omaha, I was okay. I still had symptoms. I still had a cough that stayed with me for about 2.5 weeks. I had shortness of breath for about 4 or 5 days.
How bad was that shortness of breath? Was it noticeable?
It was not noticeable when I was lying in bed, but if I got up and walked around the room, if I walked around the room and talked on the phone at the same time, trying to multitask, that was impossible to do.
Really?
Yeah.
How about you? You had shortness of breath too, I read, right?
Yes.
So how bad was the shortness?
The shortening of breath is what really got me afraid, because I do have Lyme disease, and thank you for always mentioning about
Yeah,
Lyme disease.
Yeah. No, Lyme
Um,
disease is a big deal.
Thank you for always bringing that to the
Do you think you
forefront.
still have Lyme disease?
I do. I have chronic Lyme disease because I was never treated in time.
Can you get rid of it?
I'm hoping that we
Lyme
can talk
disease
about
is a
that.
thing that people don't talk about. It is a brutal.
It is
And if you have a
brutal.
certain type of blood, you have no chance.
It's brutal. It's brutal, and then on top of having COVID-19 with it is a nightmare. But the
Right.
breathing is what scared me the most. And I went from 0 to 100. It was from getting tested that day on March 31st to trying to do a few things around the house to just all of a sudden my breathing became labored.
So you actually had a hard time breathing.
Oh yeah, I was afraid. I was afraid for my life, and until anyone has been in that person's shoes, until you have walked that walk, and sitting there knowing that the hospitals near you are full, the very two hospitals that are near you that you have
Right.
access to
Right.
that you cannot get into,
Do you think in retrospect you were better staying home?
I was better.
You know, because those hospitals, they can be crowded.
And I didn't know what my status was. So can you imagine, you don't know what your status is, and if you could get into a hospital, and in the way I was filling up with fluid, my lungs, my breathing being labored, I felt if I didn't get that medication, it was either the medication or die.
So you thought you were going to die?
I honestly felt I was going to die. And like I tell people, I'm telling my story. I'm telling my truth. I'm not telling anyone else's story. I'm not telling anyone else what to do. I'm telling my story and my truth. And this is how I feel. And these are my words.
Well, I'm not going to speak for her, but I don't see her voting for Sleepy Joe Biden. I'm not going to ask her that question. But if she votes for Sleepy Joe, I'd be surprised, okay? Anyway, incredible.